Hello everyone, what's happening? This is Forgo, and that was a nice little video that Netmarble did for Blade, but there definitely were a few things that I noticed about that was a bit of a turn off. The first thing I noticed was that Emma Frost is one of the uniform options for Blade, which sucks. Unfortunately, that uniform can only be leveled up if you spend a bunch of crystals, and if you're willing to buy a mythic uniform ticket for about $40 to take her up to mythic so you can get the max stats from it. The rest of the uniforms were okay. Ben Grimm, War Machine, Black Widow, and Red Skull was all good. The other thing I noticed about that little video was they were using Nick Fury's leadership for stage 60 against Proximo with this guy. Whenever I see Nick Fury in the leadership, whether I'm doing it or whether other YouTubers are doing it, I don't really think too much of a character unless you're just trying to push the ultimate clear for them using his leadership. One reason that it sucks that they were using his leadership is because it shows that this leadership is absolutely worthless. Even Netmarble realizes that it's worthless in World Boss. It will work against Shadowland, but it's not going to work against World Boss. It's a real shame that they didn't rework this or change his leadership to where it's always effective, to where it always works. Really, this would have been a lot better if it had been in his 4-star passive. Having all these things together, that would have been really cool. But okay, whatever, they didn't do it. You know, it's nice that he was doing stage 60, but whenever I see a stage 60 from a character using Nick Fury's leadership, I tend to think, probably just a Shadowland character. So let's talk about this guy and what they've done to him. Now, I know I sound like I'm being negative, but actually this rework's amazing for Blade. Blade's coming from a place of absolute trash. This is an amazing rework. This uniform really shoots him over the moon. He really is leaps and bounds better than what he was before. He's actually a very free-to-play friendly uniform to have because, one, if you're a newer player, he's easy to play. This is a character that you can proc on multiple different skills and still do really good damage. He also has pretty good survivability, other than the fact that sometimes he does stay rooted, he does kind of face tank, and he can take damage, like say from Proxima, who has piercing attacks. But if you bring a heal, which he should have had, but he doesn't have because Netmarble doesn't really understand their characters very well. But I digress. Let's go through his build. He has 15,000 physical attack. He has max attack speed, 31 crit rate, terrible critical rate, and 186 critical damage. Pretty much maxing our defense and max skill cooldown. Now, if you notice, I have 31 or about 32% crit rate. It is a real shame. Oh, he also has the Weapon Master tag, which is good, but it kind of isn't. And I'll explain in a second, but his critical rate would have been better if this passive would work. But it won't work in World Boss. This will not work in World Boss, so you're never going to get this, which is a real shame. As far as the rest of his build, he has no Rurus, level 20 gears, and you look at his skills, he's got lots of bleed, he's got all defense down, which is great. That works against World Boss. There's a chance of missing attack for 1 second. He has super armor, damage immunity, which is awesome. This is on a 5.5 second cooldown, and his immunity lasts for 5 seconds. He can pretty much have immunity the whole time. Plus, he gets 20% increase of all attack. That's great. Burn damage. Then he's got the 4 skills: stun, silence, damage, and bleed. Then he's got the 5th skill, which gives him 6 seconds of invincibility, which gives you native super armor. And the cool thing about this kid is he has immunity, which also means he can't be debuffed when his immunity is up. But he also gets all defense down on his 5th skill, which is tremendous. That is tremendous. So if we preview the skill, so let's take a look at his animations here. So his 5th skill gets that invincibility immediately, which is great. Something you can notice is that the all defense down comes at the end of the skill. And he has all defense down on his 2nd skill as well. And it's kind of the same thing. The all defense down comes at the end of the skill. So your true damage, the actual damage you're going to get when you have your all defense down applied, is after your full rotation through all of your skills, because then your all defense down will be applied because it lasts for 10 seconds. So we'll look at the 4th skill here. Nice. The one skill, you're probably going to stay away from that. And then the third skill is actually has the immunity and super armor, but also has a partial iframe, which is really good for make sure he doesn't take any penetration attacks, which is great. That's actually nice. They gave him immunity, and he can avoid penetrating attacks, and it can't be debuffed, which is sweet. As far as the rotation for this guy, I just do 5, 4, and then 3, and then back into the 5. He's very, very proc friendly, which is really great. This is another reason why he's actually really good for newer players. Obviously, he's great for all the players that love him. The uniform's an amazing rework for him, but it's one of them things where it just isn't enough. Like, he's strong and he's way better. I mean, this is rogue treatment, guys. I mean, he's way stronger than what he was. He was absolute trash before. And this uniform really makes him usable. You can use him in World Boss. He'll devastate in Shadowland. I mean, I know that's not a big gauge that we go by, but it really is an amazing rework for the character. The ease of play, the survivability, the damage, all of those things have been improved dramatically. But they should have went a little bit further, and they should have gave him a little bit of a heal. A vampire should have a heal. Why does Morbius have a heal and he doesn't? Why does Moon Knight, who isn't a vampire, have a heal and he doesn't? I don't understand it. Why is his movement speed slow? Aren't vampires supposed to be fast? So it's kind of like, I mean, it's a very good upgrade, but it really isn't enough. The other problem with Blade is, where are you going to really use him? Where's his utility in the game? And this is the problem with having 230 units in the game. You know, anytime we get a new uniform or a new character, we're always looking to see where's that character going to be relevant. You could use them in ABX, but actually Moon Knight, even at tier 2, without the Awaken skill, which means you don't need Morbius, is still going to do better than Blade in ABX. So he's still a better option. You know, he's still a better character. You know, so it's just one of them deals where the people that love him are going to buy him, but it really is a great upgrade for the character. In all reality, it really is. He has a stage 6 power rating offset, and he has a critical damage with 180% damage proc, you know, free-to-play friendly obelisk. Honestly, I'm probably thinking about putting a CTP of energy on him, because his uniform actually offers extra chain hit damage by 15%, and that'll stack with a CTP of energy, giving him 45% chain hit damage, which is actually really nice. So we'll go into World Boss here. And like I said, you know, anytime I see Nick Fury on teams like this here, it just isn't a really good sign for a character, because it means they're getting all this, you know, the 50% attack, they're getting the 55% damage to the supervillains, and we want to know how well Blade can do just with a normal leadership like Beast. Let me find old Blade. Here we go, big man. Now I'm going to put Shuri in there for the damage out of supervillains and a decreased 35% damage from supervillains. And you really want to have heals, because Proxima does have penetrating attacks, but we'll try this with no strikers and see how well he does. Stage 50, since the rewards are no better after stage 50 anyways. So we get that attack buff from Beast first. Here we go. And like I said earlier, something that's nice about Blade is whether you land the proc on the 5th skill, whether you landed on the 4th skill, whether you landed on the 3rd skill, his damage is actually really good on any of those skills. There's a proc on the 4th skill, not too shabby at all. Proc actually came a little late on the 4th skill. And something that's nice about the 4th skill is it dashes forward towards Proxima. Something else that's really nice is you don't really have to worry about the tornadoes. Because he has immunity on his 3rd skill and he has invincibility, because you keep those up at all times, he never gets snared, he never gets caught in those attacks, which really increases his ease of play, which is nice. I mean, you just don't have to worry about it. Now you see he still takes damage because of the penetrating attacks. But in Shadowland, he won't. He won't take any damage at all. Plus, he has all the CC. Okay, now watch his movement speed. Over here, over here. Whoa, there we go. Going to the 4, and then the 3. And you can throw in the 2 if you want to help stack up that all defense down a little bit more. And that proc landed on the 3rd skill. There we go. There we go. Had to get out of there. Had to get out of there, man. We was taking some damage from the purple there. But his damage is great. He can definitely do stage 50. No problem. The thing is, you know, keeping him alive because of the penetration attacks from Proxima. And this is the world boss that more than likely you would be facing with Blade, since he is a combat type, since he does do physical damage. There, we had to get out of there. But he's definitely on pace to do this. And with this crappy build, it's actually impressive how strong he is. He does have a lot of damage. Very free-to-play centric. Let's go. But you really should have anti-venom as a striker, so that way he has heals. Because, you know, Netmarble don't understand, I guess, what vampires should have. You know, they didn't want to give him a heal, which is wacky. I really don't understand their thought process. I really don't. What would have been the big deal to give this guy a heal? I just don't understand it. I don't understand, because the thing is, whenever characters don't have heals, you have to bring anti-venom, which means you're taking away one of your damage dealt to supervillain strikers, or you're taking away a mind control striker, and that is a bum deal. And we're in the next phase. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause it, but he can definitely do this. The thing is, you know, Proxima's gonna jump around. We've taken quite a bit of damage. She's gonna apply her frenzy buff, and then we're just not gonna do any damage at all. So I just don't think it's enough. Yes, the build is terrible, and his damage is really good. This is an amazing upgrade for this character. It really is. It's an amazing upgrade. It's a weird thing for me to say that Blade has a terrific rework, but it isn't good enough. I mean, we're just at a place in the game where we expect more. You know, when you get a uniform like Moon Knight, and I know not every uniform can be like Moon Knight, I understand that. But there would have been no harm if they would have just gave Blade a little heal. There would have been no harm if they would have gave him a little bit more chain hit damage or a little bit more attack, just to make him a little bit stronger. Because my advice to all of you is, wait till Black Friday to buy this uniform. It's a terrific uniform for Blade. It upgrades him tremendously. He's going to be a monster in Shadowland. I mean, he could do work for you in ABX, but I mean, if you already have Moon Knight, even in Tier 2, Moon Knight's still going to do better. Plus, Moon Knight has Paralyze, Burn, and Silence, whereas Blade doesn't. He has Burn and Silence, I believe. Let's see here. There's the Silence. I thought he had Burn. Let's see here. I don't see. There's Bleed. Bleed and Silence. That's good. There's the burn damage right there. So he has Burn and Silence, but he doesn't have Paralyze. So Moon Knight actually has all three of those. So he's still actually better. So the problem is, you know, Blade's relevance just isn't that high. Other than being a very, very good Shadowland character, doing some decent world bosses. I mean, he obviously can do stage 60 if you put Nick Fury in the leadership, but not everybody has Nick Fury. He'll be a great character. I really think everybody should just wait till Black Friday before they buy the uniform, because it really isn't that relevant unless you are a massive Blade fan and you want to have the uniform. So let me know how you're all feeling about Blade, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.